A life-changing accident and a long road back. A former El Paso news anchor and TCU alum is sharing how a traumatic brain injury forced him to rebuild not just his health, but his entire sense of identity. And that man is joining us now here in the studio. Evan Folan, thank you for coming in this morning.
Are you kidding me? Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
We're thrilled. Already I can tell this is an inspirational story.
Thank you.
So I'm thrilled that you're joining us to talk about it. Let's go back in time because we have a picture of this. Tell us about your injury, an accident, and what led up to all of this.
Sure. So I used to work in the news. I was a primetime news anchor and reporter in El Paso, Texas. Loved it. I was living my dream. Unfortunately, in a market that size, I was overworked and underpaid. So I moved out to LA and worked for a Fortune 500 company as a sales rep. The day of my accident, July 23rd of 2019, I just closed my biggest deal, 6-figure contract. I was sky high. I was heading to my next appointment. Never made it because a semi-truck heading in the opposite direction on the freeway lost one of its rear wheels. It jumped the median and came right through my windshield.
We are looking at a photo from the damage that was done to your vehicle. This led to obviously severe injuries. Tell us about those.
Yes, ma'am. So on the freeway that day, the only reason I'm here talking with you is because there was an EMT a couple cars behind me. The weight of those tires weigh about as much as a refrigerator. So I cracked my skull, had significant brain bleeding, and fractured my neck in 2 places. I was in a coma for 2 days. 19 rehabs later, I'm here sitting with you. I suffer short-term memory loss, chronic pain. I have headaches nonstop. I have a horrible headache right now talking to you. I'm being treated for seizures. Life has completely changed. So can no longer work a full-time job. My life was literally stolen from me that day.
Goodness, I mean, just such a long journey you've been on, and it doesn't sound like this is a journey that ends with some specific marker. You actually wrote a memoir, and I do want to point this out right off the bat about your accident and your brain injury, forgetting to remember. How did this journey, losing parts of your memory, dealing with the health issues now that you really carry every single day, how did it change the way you see yourself and your identity?
Great question. And how cool. I wrote a freaking book.
You wrote a book.
Wild. Life completely changed, and I did lose my identity. I had to restart from the ground up. I mean, I lost everything. I sadly, with a brain injury, it doesn't stop when you leave the hospital. So redefining who I am, I do that every day. And unfortunately, a lot of friends and family I lost along the way because they don't take time to understand. And that's one of the most frustrating things about a brain injury is people watching TV right now, they have it on mute. They are watching, they don't know anything's wrong with me. A lot of brain injuries are invisible. Yeah. I can articulate, tell you how I'm feeling, but they're not taking time to truly understand my daily trials.
And you are fighting a battle every day. You started Toro and Tides, okay? And I want you to talk about that and how you shifted from survival to a real sense of purpose with this.
Sure. So for 6 years, my identity was Evan with a brain injury. And it stunk. So I relocated, I left Texas, I was living with my mom doing rehab every day. I moved out to Puerto Rico for a fresh start. So I was no longer Evan with a brain injury, I got to just be Evan. And then after about a year, I just felt this calling. I felt like I was having a disservice to the brain injury community. I was keeping up with friends that I met through the rehabs, and they're still suffering, they're still struggling, and there's no education or awareness. So Toro and Tides was built around that. Finding a community, because isolation is one of the most difficult things about living with a brain injury, because nobody can relate. I can explain how I'm feeling to you, but you're not living it. Other brain injury survivors are. So the key part of Toro and Tides is building that community, wearing t-shirts like the one I'm wearing right now and this hat, because it provokes a conversation. And it's spreading that awareness and just education. I want so many people to know about brain injuries.
And you have built that community. Talk about your podcast that really probably keeps everybody together and gives everyone an outlet to be able to connect.
It is so cool. I bring on other brain injury survivors. Every other Friday I drop an episode. For 2025, we were the top 11% of most shared podcast on Spotify.
Wow.
And it's just honest, raw conversations. about the daily trials that other brain injury survivors face.
I'm just so blown away by what you have done with this. You know, the adage about the lemons and the lemonades. What do you hope that people can understand? What are you trying to communicate when it comes to supporting someone going through a traumatic brain injury?
Be patient. Take time to listen and understand. With me, my short-term memory loss, I'm listening to you. I'm engaged with you. But tomorrow, I'm not going to remember a lot of this. And it's not because I don't care, but it's because of the injury. So every brain injury is like a snowflake. They're completely different. But take time to listen to their complications and challenges, and ask, don't assume. I think that's so important.
Yep. You are such an inspiration. Give me your website that we can all go check all this out.
It's toroandtides.com.
Incredible.
Thank
Evan,
you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so
we
much.
really appreciate it. A very important conversation to be having this morning. Cheetah, we're going to get over to you.
Oh my goodness.